NASCAR drivers are the most notable athletes who are able to make time for their fans before an event. Sometimes they even manage to interact with the fans in the middle of one, or after taking the checkered flag. When walking around a track on race day, you never know who will pop out of nowhere. I met Tony Gibson in the infield of Phoenix Raceway, came across Denny Hamlin in the middle of an interview, noticed Clint Boyer having a lunch break, and look, there I am at Homestead on the pit wall when Kyle Busch won his second championship. What I'm trying to say is, by going to a NASCAR race, your chances of meeting someone important is very high, in comparison to getting an interaction with, let's say, an NFL player before a game. And in this video, we take a look at some of the greatest fan and driver interactions. Ever since Bubba Wallace began racing in the Cup Series, he would go to the front stretch during rain delays and play football with the fans in the stands. Sometimes drivers like Corey LaJoie and Daniel Hemrick would make guest appearances. It's pretty much become a tradition at this point, but a rain delay where Bubba didn't do this was at Talladega in 2021. And because Bubba Wallace was the leader at this point, he was probably more laser focused on whether the race would be called or not. Once he was declared the winner, it would have been cool to see him celebrate by throwing the football around with the fans. However, interviews and going to victory lane were probably the more important obligations. Although driver interviews are my favorite part of rain delays, it's cool to see some NASCAR drivers make extra time for fans at the track. One thing is for sure, Wallace and LaJoie know how to leave long-lasting impressions on race fans.
Oh yeah, here it's coming, here we go.
He's got an arm.
That's a bullet.
And there, and there you go.
Hey, anybody see that? Anybody see that?
Nice, everybody having some fun. We should be back to racing those soon. Look at that racetrack, looking dry.
We have seen this before in a rain delay situation. He's gone out and played catch with the fans. Now this is tough because he's got to throw the football over the catch fence to get it up to the grandstands. And he did.
And speaking of drivers being great with the fans, one of these drivers were Carl Edwards. There was a brief period of time that when Carl Edwards won a cup race, he would head up into the grandstands to celebrate with all the fans. I mean, imagine getting to sit in one of the first few rows and the winner just comes up to join you. Some tracks Edwards did this at were Phoenix in 2013, Charlotte in 2011, where this one fan got extremely excited. I think he tried taking the checkered flag. But what else would you expect from a driver with a funny personality? It sucks that he decided to retire so soon.
Carl Edwards becomes the 8th different winner of the Sprint All-Star race in the last 8 years, and he wants to go celebrate with the fans.
Carl Edwards has captured the flag and goes up to celebrate with some fans.
Yeah, and he's captured the heart of those fans too by going up there. What a great tribute.
They put a ladder there for him to get up. He just jumped up the wall.
After winning at Martinsville in 2016, Kyle Busch left the racetrack in a car blending in with all the traffic. Looking to his left, Kyle sees a fan wearing an M&M's hat. To her surprise, Busch is right next to her as he asks to sign the hat. Speaking of surprising autographs, check out this clip of Kyle Busch autographing a fan's dog at a racetrack.
Now look at that doggy. That's an M&M's dog, and Kyle Busch is giving a little autograph. Looks like a good dog, and he will not be running like a dog today.
That dog will hunt.
That dog will hunt, yeah, today.
So I'll sign their campers or sign their flags or sign their stuff, and it's pretty neat because you know, when you're doing that and signing it, they're obviously not there, so they have no idea. So it's like, okay, well, are they going to find out when they get back or not? I did another one that was in Bristol, Tennessee earlier this year. I actually had to stand on my car door in order to be able to get up as high as their flag was to sign it, and when I did that, we never heard from them.
In the 2018 Coca-Cola 600, a fan somehow managed to hack into the NASCAR radio inputs. As the spotters and crew chiefs are doing their usual work, figuring out strategy and such, a fan comes onto the mic and starts messing with certain drivers. The way he's talking to all the drivers is actually pretty funny. It seems like he had access to just about any team, yet couldn't really tell which team he was talking to. He first asks Kyle Busch how his tires are. If I was a NASCAR driver and I heard this random guy ask that over the radio, I'd probably burst out laughing. Then, the hacker goes into Alex Bowman's team communications, and when Bowman acknowledges the hacker, he says this in response. The team then switched to a new radio channel to avoid further interference. And that's all that was shared in the NASCAR Radioactive segment, but I'm sure there are plenty more funny sound bites that never made it out to the public eye.
That was like nanu.
Hey, Kyle, how's the tires doing?
Get off the damn radio, whoever you are. Tyler, is that your cousin?
Hey, man.
2014 saw one of the biggest rookie classes in NASCAR Cup Series history. A whopping 8 drivers entered the season hoping to win Rookie of the Year, and while some big names like Kyle Larson and Austin Dillon jumped into the series, there were also some lesser-known names like Parker Kligerman and Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman? A lesser-known name? It seems odd to think about it that way now, but for the time, Bowman was racing the number 23 for BK Racing, and hardly anyone knew about him. After an average finishing position of 16.5 in the Nationwide Series of 2013, Bowman was rewarded with a full-time opportunity to compete in Cup a year later, and with these less than stellar stats to his name, it's no wonder why fans didn't know him. In fact, he flew so far under the radar that NASCAR had him interview race fans, and none of them suspected a thing. I wonder what the fans must have been thinking after the reveal. Like, wow, I just met a NASCAR driver. That's cool, although I'll probably never hear of this guy again. And they must have been in shock when Bowman filled in for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2016, and then fully taking over the 88 the next year.
What about Alex Bowman? He drives number 23 Dr. Pepper car. I mean, you might like Dr. Pepper. No. I heard he's single, too. Well, I'm Alex Bowman. I drive the number 23 car. It's nice to meet you. That is me.
He's probably got a long way to go in the Cup Series.
Well, hi, my name's Alex Bowman. It's good to meet you. Hashtag gotcha.
After most of his race wins, Ryan Blaney started a tradition of giving the checkered flag to a young race fan near the fence. This reminds me of how Cam Newton used to give the football to a fan in the end zone after a QB run. It just goes to show the kind of guy Ryan Blaney is. Definitely a one-of-a-kind souvenir.
Young fan with the Ryan Blaney shirt on.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Kevin said, you know what? Come down here and check this car out. This fan right here is going, are you kidding me?
So when he goes to school tomorrow, he is the man. Like, there is no way you got anything on this guy.
Not only does he get the picture, but Kevin Harvick wants to give him the checkered flag as well.
In the mid-2000s, Tony Stewart began a new tradition of climbing the fence after winning a race. This was a neat opportunity to get closer to the spectators, practically celebrating along with them. It quickly became one of the signature celebrations, just like the Carl Edwards backflip and the Kyle Busch bow. But a signature celebration limits that celebration to the specific driver, right? Well, Chase Briscoe climbed the fence after winning at Indianapolis in 2020, which was likely a nod to his car owner, none other than Tony Stewart. Noah Gragson has also made the fence climb a celebration of his own, doing it after most, if not all of his Xfinity Series wins. Even after his Bristol win in 2020, when no one was on the other side of the fence. It's likely that he's been doing the celebration for the majority of his racing career, as we can conclude by this YouTube video he posted to his channel in 2016. Who is the most famous NASCAR driver you ever met? For me, I think it was Denny Hamlin. Let me know yours down in the comments below, and feel free to tell what the experience was like.